Hello guys, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you my full digital painting process. I'm going to explain in depth exactly how I get from start to finish. This video will be sped up for time's sake because if it weren't, then it would be about 3 hours long. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to be reminded every time I post a new video. Okay, let's get started. The program I use is Procreate, and for this piece I'm using 4 brushes. I used this brush that I got from Lotus Bubble, which is basically a round brush with some modifications. This other line art brush that I got from Kadiri's brush set pack, and the brush pen that comes with Procreate. And I use these for the skin and hair. For blending, I use the airbrush that also comes with Procreate, and for erasing, I use the same brush from Lotus Bubble. I'll leave a link in the description below of where I got the brushes if you're interested. The first thing that I always start with is a sketch. I didn't record the sketching process for this video unfortunately, but if that's something you want to see, let me know in the comments below. Once I have the sketch done, I'll alpha lock it and change the color from black to red. The reason I do that is because I will be merging the sketch layer with my drawing later on. Then I make a new layer, put it underneath the sketch and start coloring. I figure out what color I want to use without color picking the reference and use the lasso tool to fill in the skin. After that, I lower the opacity of the sketch layer and start with blocking in the flat colors for the jacket, bralette, and hair, all in separate layers. I also like to alpha lock all my layers just to make sure I don't shade outside the lines. Then I adjust the color of the background to match the reference. Now I begin shading the skin. I start with a soft blush on the cheeks, ears, lips, and shoulders, and after that I choose a more saturated red color and place in some loose shadows. I then notice she is looking a little pale and add in some orange to give her kind of a tan. On a new layer, I make it a clipping mask and set it to multiply to add in more shadows. A clipping mask basically means that you can't color outside the borders of the layer below. I then merge it with the skin layer and blend them together. I repeat this process again of adding another multiply layer for more shadows. One tip I have for you guys, if you're not sure how to shade or where to put the shadows in the face, look at how people do makeup. This is basically how I learned, and this will help you out a lot. Now, here is where I will duplicate the sketch layer and merge it with the skin. This just makes it easier for me to see the guidelines for the face. I colored the white of the eyes, and notice how I didn't use pure white. The reason I do that is because I save pure white for the brightest highlights later on. If you can't tell already, I have a pattern, which consists of making a new layer set to multiply for shadows, a layer on top for highlights, then merging them all together and blending. I lost some footage of painting the eyes. Basically what I did, I colored them brown, then I made a new multiply layer for shadows and made another layer on top set to screen and added some highlights. I actually ended up making the eyes a bit smaller because I didn't realize how big they were looking. It's not that much of a difference, but they bothered me a little bit. I'll show you how I did that at the end. I always like drawing the eyebrows and eyelashes on a different layer, just in case I don't like how they look. I can just delete that layer and draw them again on another one. I start with a soft brown for the outline, and then I like to draw them individually with a line art brush. This gives them a feathered look. For the hair, I add in some shadows with a darker brown using the brush pen. Then I'll add highlights with the same color brown on a new layer set to screen. I'll repeat the same process of adding a multiply layer for shadows and adding more highlights until I'm satisfied. I then shade the jacket with the brush pen again, which is probably my favorite brush that comes with Procreate. You can do a lot with this brush. When I'm painting, I like to skip around so I don't get bored or tired of one area. I also recommend to take breaks and come back to it later or the next day. This will give you a new perspective and you'll be able to see it with fresh eyes. So at this point, I stopped following the reference and I add in some lighting coming from the back to make it look a little more interesting. Now, all that is left to do is add the finishing touches. I gave her some freckles and adjusted the highlights once again. Here is me fixing the eyes by flipping the canvas and using the liquify tool and making them a little bit smaller. And here is the final painting. That is my full digital painting process. The only thing I change between paintings is how many layers I use. For bigger or more complicated drawings, I will use more layers, and for smaller sketches, I tend to use less. I used 17 layers with this one, separating all the elements and the shadows and the lighting. I hope this was helpful. If there's anything else you want to see or specific tutorial, feel free to let me know in the comments and I'll make a video on it soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.